Lessons from Hell and Heaven. I was involved in a motorcycle accident in late 2010. I was seriously injured from head to toe. I was taken to a doctor and a scan was performed to find out what was really going on. It was then that I learned that there was a blood clot in my head. The doctor said it had to be removed because it could cause death for me within a few days. The doctor even said, "It is the final phase. You have to be operated on because you could die if it is not done quickly." I was a young humorous man, but I believe and trust in the power of God in my life. I therefore vehemently refused to go for the operation. I told the doctor, "I will not have any surgery and my head will not be opened. I will let God cure me for He knows everything." Everyone in my family, especially my father, criticized me. The doctor was depressed and called me a very stubborn guy. For a few days, my head ached completely. I had a crisis every 2 a.m. and my brain felt it could rupture at any time. I felt completely miserable at that time. At times, I even fainted, and sometimes I was followed by people in case I might die on the way. The doctor tried to convince me to go for surgery, but I kept saying, "Let Jesus heal my head. He knows it." As the days went by, my father started to get frustrated. My friends called me crazy, but they did not convince me. I refused to undergo surgery. One Sunday evening there was a laying on of hands for healing in the church. The servant of God who laid his hands on my head said, "In Jesus' name, all your sicknesses and all your diseases are gone, you will be healed." At that moment, I really felt the power of God come into me that healed me. The very next day on Monday, the headache did not come at 2 a.m. I immediately came to my senses and said, "Jesus really did heal me." I immediately went to my doctor the following Tuesday and asked him to scan my head. I did not tell the doctor at first what had happened but told him to scan my head. The scan was made. The results came out. The doctor was amazed that there was nothing, no blood clot. The inside of my head was very clear. The doctor said, "It would be better to scan your head again to see if this result is incorrect." The scan was done a second time, and the doctor believed that the blood that had accumulated in my head was completely gone. The doctor was completely taken aback. Unaware of what he was saying, he told me, "Eve, I really have faith in you and the God you believe in is powerful." After the great miracle God performed for me, there was a prophetic word. God spoke to me in church one Sunday morning that I need to preach Jesus and God will send me to do His work. The prophetic word even said that, "Eve, Madagascar is waiting for you." I didn't care much at first. I was also a joking guy who was a bit shy. I even said, while still laughing, "What about Madagascar waiting for you? Why not? The world is waiting for you." However, everywhere, I was constantly reminded of the mission of the prophetic word. And later, I wondered, what does God expect me from that word? What does that mean? One day, while praying at my bedside, I asked, "Lord, what does it mean that Madagascar is waiting for you?" I prayed and prayed, but never got an answer. Finally, I said to Jesus, "If you do not answer, this is what it means. Jesus, do not leave me alone at night. But let's talk again tomorrow. Let me go first to sleep well today." I was asleep. It was about 12 o'clock at night. I got up and knelt down. I prayed and prayed, in the dark. I made a silent mode on my cell phone at that moment and placed it next to me. Suddenly, there was a great light. I said, "Who else is calling at night? I will not answer that." Suddenly, however, I opened my eyes and saw a great light in the darkness. I immediately heard a voice calling my name, "Eve," which was very soft. The voice called a second time and shouted, "Eve." I saw a figure standing in front of me after the second call. I saw only his body and feet. His head was invisible because it was so bright. This person said, "I know you are very thirsty to know the meaning of Madagascar is waiting for you. Eve, if you can be with me and trust me about it, then I will explain to you this prophetic word." I hesitated, and said to him, "How do I know you are Jesus? Show me first if you are really Jesus. Show me your face." The person laughed and said, "You will not see my face but stretch out your hand." Then I stretched out my hand and the person placed his hands on both of my hands. These are very different hands. I have never seen such good hands, very soft, like a baby's hand. Immediately I felt a lot of peace and knew Jesus is really talking to me. I also immediately had the conviction that Jesus was in front of me. I agree to be with you, Jesus, but where? I will take you to hell, and we will go to heaven. Okay. We walked out of my room together. My soul left my body still kneeling in pajamas near the bed, and we then disappeared. Suddenly, we were in front of a large corrugated iron gate. I am on the right hand of Jesus. He opened the large iron gate. We passed on a good road. It was so dark and smelly. Jesus said to me, I will take you to see 7 different people today, but I want to show something to you as I have something to tell you. Okay, Jesus. As soon as we entered, the place was hot and humid. It is full of people shouting for help. I really feel they are suffering. Let us go, said Jesus, to this Father, for I want you to hear something. I'm really shocked to see the suffering of these people in front of us. First of all, when we talk to the people we visit in hell, these people do not see me but only Jesus. We came to the Father. Jesus asked him, how long have you been here? Long time, my Lord. Have you heard the proclamation about me? Yes, sir, I have heard. My family, my wife, my children have all received God, all but I alone ignored it and did not receive. I'm so heartbroken to see that person who was really suffering. Not only is the fire burning, but the skin passed through fire and burned, and then there is skin again, then burned by fire again. It continued that way repeatedly. Leaving the Father, we went to another room. We will talk to this man, Eve, Jesus said. He was a friend of mine who had just died in November 2010. It's really Rhea in the fire, and I cried. I almost refused to go, and I even told Jesus, I can no longer go. Why are you showing me people I know? Quote. Fortunately, Jesus immediately put his arm around my shoulder and took me in his arms and said, don't be afraid. I will always be with you, if you trust in me. Then there was peace again inside me, and the great sorrow was gone. We approached Rhea. Did you know and hear about me, Rhea? Jesus asked him. Yes, I have heard about you, said Rhea. How do you know about me? A friend of mine named Eve told me when I was on earth. I was joking something when he said that. We even gave him the nickname, Presbyter. Help me, Jesus, and save me. I am suffering so much. Get me out of this hell. Jesus then told me, I can no longer save him. It's too late. After my friend, he took me to the third room and approached someone. How shocked I was to say that the third person we approached was my grandmother. My heart was very sad. I said to Jesus, but my grandmother really loves Jesus and she goes to church regularly every Sunday in an FJKM church when she is alive, but why is she here? Yes, that's right, Eve, but she just went to church as a habit at those times. She did not receive me. She did not make me her purpose in life but a routine in church. I was really shocked. No more talking but very sad. We went into another room and saw a girl who was suffering terribly in the fire, calling, save me. She was screaming a lot. It hurts so much. I hesitated again. Jesus, I will not hang in there. I will not be there. This person is also a person known to me. Yes, you know her, but let's hear what she has to say to us. The woman was my girlfriend when I was in high school, but then we broke up. I was about 3 meters away from Jesus when I followed him from behind. What are you doing here in hell? Jesus said to the girl. Someone hurt my heart on earth. I committed suicide and came here. Who is this man that hurt your heart? Jesus asked. That someone is called Eve. But I don't know what to do, I was so sad. I really want to save her, but as soon as I moved 1 meter it is already too hot to enter the place. I could not have done anything in the face of it all. We then moved to another room and we talked to a woman. Luckily I didn't know this woman. She suffered terribly because she himself was on fire, like these grilled chicken, and the worms came out of her 2 ears. A snake enters her vagina and comes out of her mouth. It hurts so much. Have you seen this woman, Eve? Jesus asked. Yes, I have seen her, Lord. It seems that this is what happens to women who are full of sexual immorality, prostitutes, during their lifetime. During our visits, there were times when Jesus wept bitterly. Too many people suffer in hell for not repenting while they are alive. It turns out that Jesus is very sad when someone does not commit to him. Jesus said, I have nothing left to save them because it is too late. After these visits, there was a commotion like money pouring down a gambling machine. I asked Jesus, "What is that?" "Let me take you there," Jesus said. We entered a room where the sound was heard. How shocked I was to see people fall from earth to hell like a jackpot itself. "It looks like people are going to hell," Jesus said. "They do not realize at first that they are going to hell, but when they are tormented by the devil, then they realize that they are really in hell, but they do not know where they can go anymore." I see a lot of Asians and Indians among these people. We left because Jesus told me, "I will take you through the window to see something." There was a large room where the devils met at that time. They have a boss. This boss is very ugly, very red eyes, 2 horns, and with a rounded plate on the head. He gives the command to the many devils present at the meeting. "From now on you are trying to get as many people as possible to hell. I do not want to hear again that you did not bring, but you must bring," said their chief. "You guys want me to punch you. It is annoying to see humans having meetings to attack us demons. It is very disgusting." When the chief had finished speaking, a devil said, "This is it, chief, you really can't do anything. We even scatter and collapse when they use the name Jesus." The chief was immediately angry and shouted, "I don't need you to say his name here in this place," and he immediately killed the devil who said that. All the other demons came together to eat the intestines of this dead devil. "Eve, the visit to hell is finished. I will take you to heaven," Jesus said. "Okay." Jesus is always to my left as we walk. We came to a large golden gate. It is very different from the land of hell because it is a gentle breeze, a pleasant smell. How different. Jesus opened the golden gate. As soon as we entered, the path we walked was golden. Left and right flowers are seen and very beautiful. "Look," said Jesus, "this is a wonderful place. It's still very spacious." It is noteworthy that Jesus repeatedly used the word, "very free," at every passing place. "You see that house?" "Yes." Jesus said, "This is called a palace of praise." When a person is truly converted and committed to God on earth, there is a great deal of angelic praise in that place. The palace has a lot of musical instruments and all of them are made of gold. You see, there is no praise at all because there is no convert at this moment. It's very serious to me. In hell, people are falling down like coins in a jackpot, but in heaven, it seems so quiet. Few people are truly converted to God. Terrible. Every time we moved forward, everything looks beautiful. "I will take you to my Father's house, Eve," Jesus said. "Yes, Jesus," I said. I realized I was dressed in a bright white robe and a gold crown sitting on my head. "The path to the Father's sovereignty is a beautiful jewel," he said. I saw the throne of the Father which is also of gold. He sat on that chair. His head is very bright. It was impossible to see it, but I saw his feet. To the right of the Holy Father's seat was a golden chair with no one in it. Of course, because Jesus is still with me on a visit. What is Jesus doing for the people before the throne of God the Father? Seems to be worshipping with angels. "These," said Jesus, "pray for you day and night upon the earth." They are praying for you. After that we saw a beautiful city. I said, "This is a beautiful place." The Lord said, "Eve, we will not be there today, but I will take you there next time if you are ready." I'm really interested in what this city is all about. My eyes are still open and watching. The white robe I wore after we looked at the Father's sovereignty was taken away. Then Jesus said, "Eve, I will send you back to the earth after I have finished talking to you." Okay, I said to myself, well, you're not here, Eve, but you are still alive. I had a little bargain with Jesus. Can I take this crown on Jesus so that they may know that I am in heaven? Jesus laughed a little and said, "You don't have to prove it, Eve, just tell them all the messages and lessons you saw in every visit I made with you." "Well," Eve said to Jesus. Then Jesus spoke, "Do you remember, Eve, all the lessons you learned here?" "Yes," declaring the following points before Jesus. 1. When someone preaches about you in the gospel, it is not possible to make fun of or belittle that. 2. Be careful that prayer does not become a mere ritual or habit. It must be very practical and applies to life. And make it a priority even for a small thing. We have to think about the things above, in heaven, and not just the things on earth. We should not be distracted by everyday life too much. 3. We need to be very careful about the words or actions done to people, or anyone, so as not to cause hurt feelings or injury to them. 4. It is not allowed to commit adultery and covet. It really takes a person to hell if he does not abandon it. Then Jesus said, I have another word to say to you. 5. Most people never ask me for advice before doing anything. But often, when they do not see where they are going, they call on me or ask for help. From now on, all of you need to ask my opinion on whether to do something or not and get an answer from me before doing it or not. 6. When you ask me for something, do exactly what you want. Do not hesitate whether it be money or equipment or anything else, whatever. 7. Preach my name to all people, and this visit we made here. In your family, to your friends, in your community, in the city, at work, etc. In the country, Madagascar, where you live. 8. I will destroy a country from the earth, wipe off the map, because it is really too much that this country does not serve me. I asked, is that Japan, Jesus? The earthquake and the tsunami and other problems that they have after that are so strong. Yes, it is true. But now this country will get much more than that because I will eradicate it. 9. Look at Europe, Eve, Jesus said again. The devil is really playing their time there, so that there will be no opportunity for these people to serve me. 10. Tell everyone there to watch that my return is near, Jesus continued. Can you, Lord Jesus, tell me when exactly you will return? He laughed and said, I cannot tell you because my Father alone knows this, but just tell everyone to watch and be prepared that the time is near I will return. Quote, I return to earth after that. Do not be distracted by this life and do not neglect your relationship with God. Think of heaven and dedicate your life and all that you have to God. You are the only one to determine what you do, and beware lest it be too late for Jesus to do anything for you at that time. Share this message with people, whether you know them or not, because it is God's will. Jesus will be pleased with your actions and will bless you in all you do because you have fulfilled your mission. May the Holy Spirit be upon you and give you new strength to change your life better than ever, that God may really approve of you all. Be strong and may the Lord bless us all.